friends, Jill Ortiz here from Jill Ortiz Fitness, and I love it when we get results from clients and when they come on and agree to share with us. It's so special. And today I have one of my nearest and dearest to my heart clients, Jenelle. Hopefully we won't cry on this, Jenelle.
Hopefully,
But
hope
Jenelle
not.
came Janelle came into my world in October, and we're in March now. So 5 months ago or so. And
Yeah.
um, and she's going to tell you a little bit about where she was at that point in time. But just to start us off, Janelle has lost 50 pounds exactly in that time. And she has become an incredible inspiration to me, to our community, and she's brought an incredible sense of closeness to our community. And that is just such a gift that I've gotten from this. So, as much as she will blast it from the treetops and tell everybody she knows that she loves her trainer and just thanks God that I came into her world, I feel the same
Right.
about Janelle. So welcome, Janelle. I'm so glad to have you.
Nice to be here. Good to
So
be
give
here.
us just
Yeah.
a little bit of background as to how life was before you and I met and what were the struggles you were dealing with at that time.
Well, I had been overweight probably for 25 years and just out of shape because I had quit doing what I was doing when I was in the fire service, EMS. And so then I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and um, had surgery and lost a lot of weight from that, from being sick. Of course, God did a miracle on me because I shouldn't be here today, but thank God that He allowed me to survive it. And so I was still struggling trying to lose weight. I mean, I looked like skin and bones after surgery everywhere, but around my stomach and my legs. And I was thinking, why can't I get this off? And then I saw one of your advertisements on Instagram, and you were talking about women in menopause, and I thought maybe I should listen to this woman because she's talking to me. She's telling what I'm feeling. So that's when I made the call and kind of blew you off for a couple of weeks because I wasn't real sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to it. But once I made up my mind and I knew that I should, and I was like, I know I was in a size 20. I'm not real sure. I think I weighed right at 211, I believe is what it was. And that's after losing probably 60 something pounds while I was sick and after surgery. So I was well close to 300 pounds before my surgery. And well, probably about 6 months before I got sick. And so I struggled with that. I couldn't walk from here to my door here in my office, and it's probably 6 feet. I couldn't play with my grandkids. I would be out of breath. I couldn't walk down steps without holding on to something. My life was miserable. And when I turned 60, I thought, you know, it's just over. I might as well just sit down and quit. And then God said, hold up there a minute, and then that's when I found out that I was sick. And when He brought me through all of that, I was determined to get my life together, get healthy and stay healthy. And my husband said something to me last night. He said, he said, I don't look for you to quit until the day they bury you. And I said, that's exactly right. I said, I'm just going to keep working out until that day. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was at. And I'm very grateful for you and for your confidence in me and, just the, the instruction and letting me know that I can do it, and I know that I have to show up every day and do the work. I know that I can't sit in front of your video and expect me to just get, where I need to be. I've got to get up and do something. And so, but I'm very grateful for you in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. So,
Now, you mentioned your husband. I know he's a big part of your life and your journey and a huge support system for you. What were his goals for you, and did he have any fears about you joining the program?
no, he knew I could do it. He said, I've seen you do it before. He said, I know you can do it again. I mean, he's always been my biggest cheerleader. I mean, he's right there. And he's even ventured in there lately and been lifting weights himself and kind of working out with me, So I mean, it's inspiring him. And he told me, he said, "You're happier than I've seen you in so many years because you can move, and you can do the things you do." And just a couple of weeks ago, I went to the trampoline park with my grandkids, and I was crawling all up in there and jumping and playing, and I was like, my daughter was out of breath and and I'm like, "Come on, let's go," and I just kept running with the kids, and the kids were like, "Sit down, we're tired." And I'm thinking, just that was music to my ears, that I could actually do that and not be tired and not be wore out, and even, actually climb up something and be able to do those things. So they're all my biggest supporters. I mean, they all know that I have the drive to do it. So nothing's
Yeah.
going to stop me.
So your health and longevity, playing with your grandkids, the relationships you have with others, those are all things that we've seen improving. And then I know a big part of your life, something that was always something you've said is very important, is that you love to run and walk and be
Yeah.
outside doing those things. So tell us a little bit about how that's improved or changed since your 50-pound weight loss. It must be easier.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, when I first started walking, I was walking about a half a mile, and it took me like almost an hour to walk a half a mile, And then after the weight loss, and as I've gotten stronger, um, I can do a 2 mile run sometimes in 20 minutes if I want to, I mean, I slow down and try to take it easy because I know that I don't need to run full steam ahead every day because I know that can wear my body down. I mean, I finally listened to you and decided to do 3 days a week. Not that I didn't want to listen to you, but it was just that was something that began the journey for me as I started walking and wanting to get healthy before I even, found you on Instagram. And so when I started walking, and then it became it began to turn into running. It was just to me a miracle that I could actually run that far and not be out of breath and not fall down or and I catch myself all the time if at the track because some of the track is not level and things like that. And I catch myself thinking, wow, I would have fell flat on my face a few years ago, but I just jump over them or move around them or go around people and things like that, with ease. And so it's made it tremendously easier to run and to do. And I'm actually next Saturday going to run my first 5K
Wow,
for this year.
congratulations.
So yeah,
We'll be
next
cheering you
Saturday.
on, the whole
Yep.
community. Now, you
So
mentioned people, so I know that you tell us, I mean, every week that people in your life are really noticing the changes.
yeah.
What do you think their impression is, and what are they seeing from you?
Most of them see that I'm getting stronger. It's not so much that, and I was telling you just a few minutes ago that my unique name at church is Slim, but they're like, it's not like you're just skinny, you're stronger, you look healthy, you look like you can pick up anything or do anything, and I'm like, well, no, I'm still working on things, but I am healthier, I am stronger, I can do a lot more than I did. I mean, when I started lifting, I think I was using 3 pound weights. I'm doing 20s now over my, shoulder press, and that's impressive with the shoulder injury and doing physical therapy. I think, and even my physical therapist told me, he said, I'm amazed at the strength you've built. And he said, but together with what Jill has had you doing and what we're doing here in physical therapy is why you're doing so well. So,
Yeah.
that's people just love to see that. I think a lot of it is they know where I came from being sick and then where I'm at today.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have known me for years and known that I've always been big and for the last 25 years. And for them to see me now, it is a big change for them, and they're very impressed by it.
Yeah. Now, so for people who aren't aware of the Empowered Fitness Mastery program that you signed up for, we have a few different components, right? So I do strength training programs with my clients, and they're very much focused for women over 40. And our need for strength, muscle mass, bone, density, and and being able to move effectively, efficiently, and also preserve energy. We have a nutrition component teaching how to eat to fuel for our goals, not undernourish, and to have the right amounts and to not feel that foods are off limits and that we need to be restricting in any way. And then we have a sense of community, we have support, we have accountability in so many different ways throughout the week, and we have reward systems. And so, Jenelle, what would you say has been or are the highlights for you? What are your favorite aspects of the program? What brings you the most joy in the program?
Well, I love the lifting. I love the feel that that it gives me when I lift and how I feel afterwards. But to me, the biggest thing is the community. I mean, everyone that is there to support you and to encourage you, and to get behind you. And to me, that's what's the most important, because without that, it would be like you were on your own. We're not, most of us work out at home, so not going to a gym, which I do some now, but I'm still working out by myself because there's nobody there. But when you have that community to cheer you on, or to laugh at you or whatever, needs to be done that day, it's just a joy to have people to back you up and support you like that. And
Mhm.
but I love the workout and I love the food. I've never had a problem with the nutrition part of it. It's the food has always been enough. It's always been good food. Um, when I first started the nutrition, and I went back for my 6 week checkup with my doctor, my blood work was better than it had been in 20 something years. She told me, she said, your blood work is perfect. She said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And every time I go back, it's like that. And so um, it will make you healthier, but it fuels you and it satisfies you. And like you said, there's not a whole lot of food that's off limits. Really, nothing is if you eat it the right way. And, uh, just don't go eat 3 or 4 cheeseburgers a day, because that's going to hurt you. And, and to me, if I eat that kind of food now, I don't feel good. I mean, I have my stomach bothers me or I have a headache or because it's like the processed foods and the chemicals in it just make me feel really bad. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm always one. I don't like pain, so I'm just gonna stick to doing what I know is gonna keep me from having any kind of pain or feeling bad. So the
Yeah.
food is not a problem. So,
Yeah,
but
ultimately
the
that's the goal, is to become the person who is more inclined to make good decisions because
right,
they make us feel better, and then those little decisions, they just add up over time. It's what you do the majority of the time, not once in a
right,
while, that's going to determine who you are.
right.
Do you
Yep.
have anything that you want
And,
to add before we wrap up?
well, I mean, I just give you a thumbs up because you're the greatest coach out there, and I just think the world of you. And I think that it's the approach that you take because you care and you're compassionate and uh, you you kick our butt sometimes without physically having to do it. If we do something, if we are not doing something right, you bring us in line, you correct us, and those are the things that we all need. Because if we didn't need that, we wouldn't have been out there looking for you, and looking for that coaching. So I say it to anyone that wants to get fit and wants to get healthy, they need to give you a try. I've seen a lot of things. I told you, you know, Facebook and Instagram, it was full of things and nobody made sense to me until I heard you that day. And it was like a click. And me, I believe God always directs things, and I know that He directed me to that place that day. And I'm very appreciative to you and for everything that you do for me.
Thank you. And same. And so if there was somebody out there who's watching this, and this is why we do these, is because some people need to hear it, not just from me, but from people who are living the
Right,
the journey, is if they have fears that it won't work, that it's too much money, that it'll take too much time, that they don't need another thing on their plate. Nothing else has worked. What would you say to those people?
I would say give it a try. Do what you give them, the plan that you lay out. Put in the hard work, eat the food. You will see results. You may not see the results that I got as fast as I got. I don't know. It was like a light switch flipped on in me, but you will see results. I mean, I'm completely believe that anybody that tries it will see results at some point if they do what they're told. And I'm a rule follower, so I do exactly what I'm told. I don't, well, sometimes I get the running. You had to get me a couple of times on, but I follow the rules on the nutrition and I follow the rules on the lifting, and I think that's what got me the results. And I showed up every day, even on the days when I physically did not feel like it or um, emotionally right now with the stress that's in going on in my family. There's days and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about this. But when I go in there and I start lifting, nothing matters but what I'm doing. And when I come out, I feel better. My mind is clearer, my body feels good, and I can push on to the next day. So, that's the thing you have to do. You just have to make up in your mind that you want to change. If you don't want to change, you're not going to change. And if
I
you
love
make
it.
the decision to do the work and to eat the food and just push through, you'll see results.
Hmm. Yeah. And so one thing I want to share with everybody is, Janelle, you had joined a gym just recently within the last few weeks,
Yeah.
and you said that they already asked you if you would be interested in being a trainer, right?
Yes.
And I've
Yes.
seen that with many of my clients who've become fitness instructors and trainers, who have just floored me in not only how they changed physically, but how they just kind of like a butterfly just really bloomed and the best part of them came out. And that's where I started too. I was a VP of finance and accounting when I started my journey. And within 3 weeks, I had it, in my mind that I was meant for something else and for helping people and to do what was, my passion. And I see that passion in you as well. So I look forward to continuing to see the amazing things that you'll be doing in your journey. And I'm just so happy and thankful that we're getting to do this together. So thank you for being
Ma'am,
with me today and for sharing.
you're
I'm
welcome.
sure you
Thank
will
you.
touch so many more lives with your story and for many, many years to come.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.